Welcome to City TV Sports presentation of the high school game of the week. It is the first place Lawndale Cardinals hosting the El Segundo Eagles, and they are in second place, both of them at 7-1 overall. But boy, the Lawndale Cardinals are having a season for the ages, Rufus.
Oh, it absolutely is. I mean, you can feel the electricity in the air tonight. This is one of the biggest games in the history of this program. I mean, both schools are at the top of the Ocean League, as you mentioned, and if Lawndale need a little extra incentive, they've not beaten El Segundo in 11 years. This is their best opportunity in the past 12 years for that.
And it is senior night, and this is a laden senior team.
Oh, heavily senior, as we've seen him walk through, led, of course, by Chris Murray, who's been in the program since he was a freshman. And obviously, he and all the other kids who've been here, as I mentioned, the 4 years, would love to cap a great career off with a win over the El Segundo Eagles tonight.
All right, and we're going to talk about the Eagles right now with Egidio DeLeu, and their wings have been clipped a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of injuries on the El Segundo Eagles. They were flying high, 5-0 at one point in the season. Now, following their first loss in over 2 years, 7-1 coming into the ball game. But Lou, they do have a shot. Their starting quarterback, Jason Kale, who's pretty much pioneered this team this season, he's out for tonight. Stepping in will be number 7, Jake Palmer. Talked to Coach Shevlin, said, why Palmer? He hasn't played quarterback ever. He said he's the best athlete we got, and he's going to give him a chance because they have also in the backfield, number 4, Taz Tuese, and he can break at any minute. Don't blink. You're going to miss something special.
That's right, and the El Segundo Eagles were beaten by the Hawthorne Cougars last week in a surprising game there. Boy, across town, they're doing pretty good too.
Oh, they absolutely are. They're 3-0 in Ocean League play, tied with Lawndale for first place. And, of course, tonight they're playing at Culver City, and our best to Coach Pasinger and his squad. And depending on how form holds, we could be looking at the setup tonight here and over at Culver City for the game of the year between Lawndale and Hawthorne. But that's getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. As Egidio said, regardless of the injuries that the Eagles have, they're coming in to play this Lawndale team. But this is a dynamic Lawndale team, as I'm sure Sebastian will tell us.
That's right. The Eagles were heavily senior laden last year with the Newt Bar kids and all of those guys. But now this year, the Cardinals, their big senior team on senior night, Sebastian Spencer, their offense is scoring well over 40 points a game, and their defense has 4 shutouts in 5 games.
Yeah, definitely. The offense has been playing very great. Coach Travis Clark has got these guys playing great football right now. And like Rufus said, you talk about 11 years worth of history of losing to this El Segundo team. And you got to think some of these seniors here have saw some of that in the last 3 or 4 years of their career, and they're looking to win too. But one thing you talk about senior night, senior leadership, it's a lot of other guys out here that are helping Chris Murray do this every single week. You got Brian Perkison, Jalen Walker. These are guys that are contributing to this offense.
All right, Rufus, it's going to be a big one here in senior nights, and I can't wait to get this underway.
Well, you're right. I mean, because, again, you have the number 1 and number 2 offense and the number 1 and number 2 defense. So this could easily be a 10-9 game, or it could be a 50-49 game. We just got to wait and see.
All right, and we'll be back with the kickoff right after this.
Hi, I'm Donnell Beverly from the University of Connecticut, home of the 2011 National Championship UConn Huskies basketball team, and you're losing your Olympians.
Beverly around the back, follow-away jumper, good, beautiful shot.
It wasn't too long ago that I was playing basketball right here.
I just want to thank him for having me here. I'm honored to play here.
And the Huskies are the top dog in 2011.
Winning the NCAA championship has always been a goal of mine, but so is getting a great education that will last me a lifetime. You can achieve your goals too. All you have to do is work hard and dream hard, and you can do anything you put your mind to.
Back here at the Cardinal Nest, and we're just about ready to do the coin toss at the 50-yard line at midfield. And there's our referee, Jason Skinner. And he's explaining the ground rules right now.
So, as you can see, El Segundo won the toss, and they've deferred.
Which one would you like to defend? I'd like to kick towards the scoreboard. You guys get your backs over here. You put your backs over here.
Well, so at least it starts with a bit of good fortune for the El Segundo Eagles. Most teams obviously like to win the toss.
Right.
And most teams, I think the percentage is way up in the 80s, will defer to get it the second half, to start the second half with the ball.
All right, so it's senior night here at Lawndale High School, and they're getting ready to bust through the banner there on senior night. And good to see all the moms and dads out here and mentors.
Grab the game.
Well, it's a special moment, Lou, for not just the players, but for their families. And I can remember having gone through it with my son. The one thing that's a part of the reality that sets in, that's very touching for the kid. And I've got a picture, one of my favorite pictures, as you see them come out into the field. And that's to realize that this is, now in this team's case, they probably will get another chance to play at home, but it well could be the last time that you take your home field as a high school football player.
All right, and absolutely. And it's going to be a terrific night, that's for sure. Quarterback Chris Murray was 5 out of 6 for 157 yards against Beverly Hills. And so we should see a terrific game tonight. There's the El Segundo Eagles, a little bit banged up. There's number 7. You see him right there at the 50-yard line, Jake Palmer. He'll be starting. He's a junior, 5'11", 185. And Coach Steve Shevlin, there he is right there talking to one of his assistants right in the middle. And Eric Willis.
And you know, Lou, one of the ironies of this game as you look at both teams come in with a 7-1 record. You talk about catching somebody at the right time. For the South Spartans, which was the first game of the season for Lawndale, they just happened to have caught the Lawndale Cardinals at the right time because they've been flying high ever since, and we saw what Lusinger did to South last week.
Zach Cooper gets the ball, picks it up just inside the end zone, and it's going to be called a touchback as he had it at about the 1-yard line, but muffed it into the end zone. And he is one of the seniors, got a chance to meet his mom, Lisa. But it'll be 1st and 10 for the Cardinals, and Chris Murray, 1:57, just underway here. So I want to thank you very much for joining us tonight on Hallows Eve, All Hallows Eve. And Rufus, I got to tell you, your mask is pretty scary tonight.
Well, it's the one I've been wearing now for a few decades.
There you saw Gabriel Fernand, one of the linemen, a junior, 6 foot, 220 pounds. And Chris Murray about ready to lead this offense, Rufus. He'll have Emmanuel Ayo at the halfback. Split out to the near side is Nate Brown. And
Murray calls his own number that time, Lou, and actually is knocked down for a loss on the play. Of course, don't let that concern your fans, because coming into tonight's contest, Murray, boy, you talk about being a runner. He's a runner supreme. He's rushed for over 1,000 yards, and in fact is the 3rd leading rusher in the Ocean League.
Wow. That's got to say something in a spread offense. Split out to the near side is Nate Brown. Also with him is Jalen Walker. And trying to get some room is Zach Cooper, but he goes backwards as well. So it'll be 3rd down and a whole lot.
And Cooper, of course, the second leading rusher. And you'll hear us run stats out all night for both teams. Cooper, the second leading rusher in the Ocean League with over 1,000 yards as well.
So no gain. So third down and 14 yards. So right away, a big third down for both teams. Cooper to Murray's left. Good protection, has time for a shower, shave, and coffee, and now he comes up the sideline, has to get to the 30-yard line and gets to at least there. Still, nope, he's knocked out of bounds, but still kept churning. And they mark him out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. So we'll see if there's any flags on the play. And yeah, there is a flag at around the 15.
And you've got an injured Eagle. Wow. And he's going back down to his knee. Man, he was up. This doesn't look good right now. And the official immediately, that was Jason Skinner, giving him a concussion protocol. And now the officials are signaling to the to the training staff of El Segundo to come out into the field.
So that's Angelo Pacheco, number 34. So why don't you introduce our officials tonight?
Well, it's a crew that we basically saw last week for the most part. Run them down to you, though. The referee, the white hat, as we watch the replay here, this is Chris Murray. Boy, he scrambles out of the pressure and takes off. That's coming up the left side of the field. We're going to see if we can see where the injury occurred.
Oop, there's two blockers on their own.
Wow. That was pretty close there, but thought it was, well, maybe that was where they said he was out, because
right.
That was a hit that we saw that we thought for late, that was late. Now you see number 34.
There you see, yeah, that's Pacheco coming off on his own power, but a little wobbly, that's for sure.
Well, let me get back to finishing who the officials are. The white hat is Jason Skinner. The umpire, Mike Morris. The head linesman is Paul Just. The line judge is Ron Harris. And the back judge is Greg Lawson. And if they look familiar to you, that's because this is the crew that we saw last week over at Lusinger. And a very good crew at that. We did have a flag on the field. They're calling it a chop block against Lawndale, and they're going to replay third down, except now it's going to be third and from inside the 10.
Looks like 3rd and 13 at about
no, they got to get out to
line.
the 30.
Third and 23 then.
Wow.
So Murray's going to pass, and it was intended for Nate Brown.
Well, here's the problem. Nate Brown never looked for the ball. Murray hit him on a B. If Nate Brown looks, let's see the replay here. See, he never looked for the ball. So that's one of those that'll go as an incomplete. I know you're going to write it down as an incomplete against Murray, and you should put it down as a drop against Nate Brown.
All right, so 4th down and 23. And Murray punts the ball, and it's off of the shin bone, and it goes out of bounds. Let's see where it's going to be called, and they're going to get a good spot, actually.
Yeah, if you're
Lawndale is going to get a good spot.
If you're Lawndale, you're getting a very good one, because actually you got to measure, but the official right on top of it, of course, working this side of the field, that is the line judge, Ron Harris.
So it's at the Lawndale 38-yard line. So advantage El Segundo right now.
Well, so far you're right. El Segundo, everything has worked in their favor. Lawndale picked up a first, but it was called back on a penalty. There's a high snap, and that doesn't help their cause, though.
Not at all, because in there first was Terrell Williams with the sack, or the tackle, we'll just say. So a loss on the play of 4 yards. So a loss for the quarterback, Jake Palmer.
And if you're Lawndale, here's what you're playing for tonight, fans. You're playing for no worse than a tie for first place and a share of the Ocean League crown if you come away tonight, and possibly The opportunity. There's a fumble.
And Lawndale picks it up. That was Jalen Walker with the recovery. And is there a flag on the ground? Don't see one.
Don't see one from here.
Nope.
And the referee signals it's 1st and 10 going the other way from the 42-yard line.
And then you see the ball hit the ground. So 9:23 left to go, and first break of the game. First break of the game goes to Lawndale, and the ball is handed off. Real estate's tough to come by on the ground for Zach Cooper. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. And let's go down to Egidio.
Well, that last turnover there, uncharacteristic of Taz Tawase, number 4, who's following a 2-fumble game last week against
Stay with
Hawthorne.
it.
Thanks, guys. Uncharacteristic of Taz Tawase there with a 2-fumble game last week. Now another fumble in this ball game here. Before that, he had 0 fumbles in the season. Good news for Cardinals, though. It's Cardinals football. Guys, back to you.
Aaron Kiefer is the halfback. Nate Brown's the fullback. And an official timeout coming out of the ball game for El Segundo is Taz Balogan. And coming in is Danny McEntry, or Dizzy. No, here comes Taz back in the ball game. Nope, that's not Taz. That's the quarterback, Jake Palmer.
Well, they're having to shuffle guys all over the field with the injuries that they've had in the last couple of weeks, and of course the one we saw just a couple of minutes ago with number 34.
Murray hands it off to Cooper, finds a hole, gets into El Segundo territory and down to about the 46-yard line after Palmer made the tackle. So a good play by Cooper.
Well, you knew that was bound to happen. This is a 3,000-yard backfield. You got 2,000-yard rushers, and you got Chris Murray, who's thrown for over 1,200 yards. When you've got 3,000 yards in your backfield, it's very difficult for any team to hold that down for a long time. And now Lawndale appears. It's still in the early going here, the first quarter, but it looks like, courtesy of the turnover, that they've gotten things untracked.
19 yards on the play, or 18 yards on the play. Cooper gets it again, but is caught at the line of scrimmage. And trying to rip the ball out was Brandon Craig, but couldn't do it. But it's a loss on the play, Rufus, of 2 yards. So back to the 48-yard line, 49-yard line, we'll call it. Where it'll be second down and we'll call it 13. So El Segundo hanging in tough with 7:30 left to go in the first quarter. Clock running out of the eye. Murray hands it, no, keeps it. And trying to find a hole.
Whoa.
Dipsy doing his way, and did he?
Well, he pitched
lateral
it back.
pitched it off
And
to
the
Cooper.
question is, did they recover? No, it looks like they didn't.
Nope, they're pointing El Segundo, they being the officials. So another turnover. We'll give that one to Murray.
Here we'll watch the replay. Murray drops back, turns it up. And we'll see the pitch come in just a moment. Boy, okay, well, one thing is wrong, just like in basketball, you never leave your feet to throw a pass. He left his feet for the pitch, and it simply was not a well-executed play. Turnover, Lawndale, 7:20 in the first quarter.
So it's recovered by number 57. He's not on my roster. Now back to pass is Palmer, and he has to get away from the Lawndale onslaught and can't do it because he was covered up by Eric Willis. A big sack by the Cardinal defense with 7:05 left to go in the first quarter, and the ball goes all the way back to the 35-yard line. Started off at about the 50. Goes all the way back to the 35, so a loss on the play of 15.
It's second and a whole lot once again. They keep it on the ground, and we talked about it. And putting his nose in on that play, Jalen Walker, who's one of the captains, number 2 in the Ocean League with 94 tackles, making 95 coming in on the season.
Another loss on the play, Rufus, of about 4 yards. And there you see the great defensive play, Isaiah Gray.
And he has a fumble recovery to go with it, right? Jalen Walker. One of those many seniors on this squad.
Out of the shotgun, Palmer fakes, left-hander, throws across the middle, is caught. Good defense. Hit immediately by DeJuan Ballard, but Taj Balogan gets it up to the 41-yard line. So a 10-yard gain.
Way short of the first down. No, it's going to be 4th and about 16 still in order for them to pick up the first down. So clearly a punting situation for the Eagles of El Segundo. So you got a bird fight here. You got Eagles and Cardinals going at it.
That's right. Palmer will be kicking to the Cardinals.
That's a low kick. They'll get away from it.
And B.J. Parkinson says just stay away from it, and he does. And decent field position for the Cardinals. They'll start off 1st and 10 right around the 25-yard line.
And that's fun. That's good fundamentals by Perkinson. You've heard me talk about this during the course of the season and watching some of our other schools. If you're not going to play the kick, then get away from it. Because footballs take funny kinds of bounces. I think a bounce, the moment it touches you, it's now a live ball. And I was watching a college game a couple of weeks ago, and the same point was made. Get away from the ball if you're going to let it go dead.
Brandon Ephraim split to the near side, and under center is Murray. He's going to hand the ball off to Cooper. Gets to the line, but then a linebacker came in, number 57. Oh, that is Mark Binder.
Short gain on the play for the Cardinals.
We'll call it 1. 2nd and 9. Now Binder, wearing number 57, was listed as number 32, but in talking to our Eagles expert, Egidio DeLeu, he says that he's had a different number almost every week. Just filling in where need be for Coach Shevlin. Murray with a quick pass. It's caught by Perkinson. Perkinson is on the run to midfield to about the 48-yard line.
Big pick
a gain of 22 yards, Rufus.
Big pickup for Bryant Perkinson. Coming into the game, he had 563 receiving yards on the season, which is number 1 on the team, number 2 in league play, and couple that on the defensive side with 3 INTs.
Tell you what, Rufus, that was some good speed shown by BJ.
Absolutely, and Perkinson's another senior, so you had senior to senior.
So this is the year of the Cardinal, maybe. Last year was the year of the Eagle with all their seniors. At 4:20 and counting left in the first quarter. Handoff to their bull running back. That's Aaron Kiefer. And he's normally a fullback, but this time he was the lone man in the backfield. So he gets up to about close to the 50-yard line. So a gain of 1. So it'll be 2nd down and 9.
Kiefer
actually,
comes off.
Well, there's a gain of 2, they call it. So they call BJ down back at the 46. So a gain of 3, we'll call it. 2nd and 3. Cooper in the backfield. Handoff to Zach. Had to get away from one blitzing player. Couldn't get away from Binder. And Kyle Freeman, the first man in, finishes him off. So a great defensive play by the Eagles. Seems like they were in the backfield before the ball was snapped even.
Absolutely. As I mentioned, they're the second-ranked defense in the Ocean League, and right now they're playing that way as a top-notch defense, and it's going to make it, actually it's going to be a 3rd and about 13. They listed as 3rd and 12 on the board.
A loss of 5 on the play for Cooper and the Cardinals, so a big 3rd down play again for both teams. Both teams just jabbing each other here in the first quarter. Both good teams. Murray tucks it in and goes. Murray tries to get to the sticks. Looks like he got past there, still up.
Right.
And finally gets down just inside of the 40, or outside the 40-yard line at about the 41. Good enough for a first down.
Good enough for a first down again. Murray showing his dual threat capability. First as a passer, pulls it down, decides, hey, I can make this on my own, turns it upfield, picks up the first down.
I'm going to call it a 15-yard gain.
And that has to be very frustrating for the El Segundo defense to get them in 3rd and long situations. Well, when you've got a team in a 3rd and 12, you can just about take that to the bank that you're going to force a punt. But instead, somehow another Lawndale gets out of it. Murray again out of the shotgun, keeps it himself.
That's a quarterback draw. Rufus gets inside the 30-yard line, and he tell you what, he had a blocker with him. Number 71, unfortunately, he's not on our roster. But, boy, leading the way, pulling away.
I guarantee
Or
you.
maybe, excuse me, Rufus,
Oh,
it
sure,
could have
no,
been
no.
Steven Almada, number 77.
Okay.
But he gets another first down, Rufus, down to the 25. So another 16-yard gain for Murray. And that was definitely, I mean, I thought it was going to be a passing down because Murray was the lone man in the backfield. Trips to the right for Murray. Drops the ball on the snap. He still goes over center and makes a positive out of a negative.
Absolutely.
So a gain of 3.
And right now, timeout being taken by Lawndale. Coach Travis Clark, you know, recognizing that, hey, scoring opportunities may not come easy because, guys, even though this El Segundo team is banged up, as we talked about, they're out here playing hard. Right now, they're on the edge of the red zone, and coaches want to make sure that they capitalize on this opportunity.
So that's the first timeout for Lawndale. 1:51 left to go in the first quarter. And this seems like a heavyweight fight back in the day when they would just kind of jab each other for the first few rounds.
You're right. They're feeling each other out. And right now, and both teams have taken a couple of blows to the gut in terms of turnovers. But right now, Lawndale has some momentum. This drive having started at their 25-yard line. They're now down near the 20 of El Segundo.
Spread offense, Murray lone man of the backfield, 2 receivers to either side. Pumps on the wide receiver screen and covered nicely by El Segundo. Zach Cooper with the reception, and he gets down to about the 20-yard line, we'll call it. So all of that for 2 yards?
All that for 2 yards. At some point, you got to go up, especially, and this is what I'd like to see. You know, they're throwing a lot of swing passes. At some point, you got to turn and throw the ball up the field, unless, of course, you're showing a healthy dose of respect for the defensive backfield of the Eagles.
So it's officially at the 19-yard line. And
delay of game is the call against Lawndale.
so second penalty for 15 yards, and Damian Porter. Did he call another timeout?
No, I don't think he did, but I think that because of the penalty the at least I don't think he could. Well, apparently he did
Somebody
because both
did.
teams have left the field. Let's see. Don't have an indication yet from Jason Skinner. Okay, now he's indicating
Lawndale.
That is Lawndale's second time out here in the first half, in the first quarter.
So the ball goes back to the 25. So that makes it 3rd and 10.
Looks like, although we see the El Segundo squad breaking out of the timeout, our cameraman Louis Godinez and Chuck were down there, man, getting great in the huddle footage during that Lawndale timeout.
There are guys. Louis our gopher. He will dig into anything.
Well, I'm hoping he'll go for a slice of pizza for me at halftime. Yeah.
Talked to Damian Porter before the game, Rufus, and asked him what was the feeling after he went back to Santa Monica and beat his alma mater and his former team. And he said it was very bittersweet, and somebody left too early. That was B.J. Perkinson. And that should be an offside or motion. False start against, the Travis Clark. See what I did today, Rufus, when I was putting my charts together.
I see
put
that. I looked
Lusinger's
over.
header, but I have Lawndale's team.
All right.
So my apologies to Coach Clark. So Coach Clark, now after the penalty, Murray has all the time in the world, has a man wide open in the corner, and that's going to be good enough for a first down, Rufus, but that could have been a touchdown.
Could have been a touchdown
to Desmond Hall.
So again, Murray, and what I just said, you got to turn at some point and throw the ball up the field if you want to pick up yardage, and that was what they did. Hall brings it in, couldn't keep his balance, but it's a 1st and goal just inside the 10-yard line.
Call us the 9. Yeah, if you would have hit him on the run, Rufus, it would have been 6. Murray back to pass again, looking, now has a wide open middle, now takes it up the middle and takes it into the end zone. Touchdown Cardinals. Just beating Mark Binder into the end zone. So it's 6-0 in favor of Lawndale.
And that was a 10-yard run by the quarterback, Chris Murray. As you see, Murray pulled it down, looked straight up the middle himself, and takes it across the goal line.
So coming on to tack on the extra point, and it's up and good. Anderson Racinios with the extra point, 7-0 in favor of Lawndale with 23.5 seconds left in the first, and that's got to be a big weight off the shoulders because, again, this Cardinal team hasn't beaten El Segundo in 11 years, and I'm sure that they've had an earful of that.
I'm sure they have, and it was finally good to see them get going. You know, it was kind of like turning your key in the ignition and the car started. It's almost starting. It's almost until it gets going, and that's the way it was. I mean, they had a couple of cracks at it, but finally got the big play, a couple of big plays in that drive to keep the drive alive and end up with a scoring opportunity. They burned 2 timeouts, but they were 2 timeouts well spent in order to make sure that they capitalize on that red zone opportunity.
Racinios will kick it off. Murray with a 10-yard run for a touchdown, Rufus. 10 plays, 65 yards, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Racinios puts his boot into this one. Is taken by Binder, and actually no. Ooh, look out. What a hit there. Number 30, and I don't think he saw that Cardinal swooping in.
Well, we'll have to see that one on the replay.
Jeremiah Lealua. So that's number 20. That's Danny McKentry.
Here's the replay coming
That's
at you.
it. Trick or treat. Smell my grass.
And boy, he got hit by a wall of Cardinals on that play.
The ball is at the 30-yard line.
At the 31st and 10. Eagles looking to get flying themselves now. They've had a tough go of it.
A good gain on the play, Rufus.
And that should wind us down here in the first quarter. 5-yard gain takes it out to the 25. So the quarter will end, and they'll switch directions.
So 5 yards on the play for Palmer. And Seattle will be 2nd and 5 from the 35. And see if any of our intrepid reporters have a hit for us. No, they don't. But Rufus, pretty interesting game, and you've been going down the history of this one. And let's just go over the standings in the Ocean League. But before we do that, let's go down to Sebastian.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. Coach Travis Clark talked a lot about this Lawndale team and the seniors and what they mean to him. Basically just said, I feel like I belong here. Basically feeling like this is already home for me. You know, he talked about only being 8 games into the season, his first season getting a chance to work with a lot of these guys, but he feels like he was sent here to coach them. And he said that's been a part of what's been the biggest part of the success is that these guys are just buying in and they know how passionate he is about coaching, about them, and about football.
All right, thanks, Sebastian. A 7-game losing streak, and that would accentuate that point. But overall, Rufus, they've scored 366 points and only given up 107. But in league, 171 have the Cardinals, and they've only given up 41 in league, and that was just in 1 game.
Absolutely.
And again, Palmer is dumped. This time by Amaro Bellew. And that's a 6-yard loss, Rufus, back to the 29.
This defense of Lawndale right now firing on all cylinders. And of course that loss makes it a 3rd and 11 now.
Well, the offense ain't doing too bad either. It's kind of hard to find a weakness right now. And El Segundo, like we were saying last year, was their year with all of those brilliant seniors. And now they've been catching the injury bug.
And that's a part of the game.
Timeout now called by El Segundo, I do believe. Or nope, that's too much time. That's a penalty. First penalty of the game for El Segundo. And they just didn't look ready on that play. Taj Balogun was kind of looking for a place to go. Usually a running back, but he's going to split wide to the right side. Actually, he's going to be in the slot. Split wide to the right is C.J. Shevlin. Gee, I wonder if he knows Coach Shevlin.
I suspect pretty well.
Fake on the reverse, and Palmer's going to try to go around the edge, but a great open field tackle caught from behind by Jalen Walker.
Wow.
So this loss goes all the way back to the 20-yard line, Rufus.
And that's one of those plays, it looked great when it started out, and I actually thought it had a chance to turn into something good for El Segundo, but instead sniffed out well by number 2, Jalen Walker, and with that forces another punt by El Segundo.
Palmer will punt to B.J. Perkinson, standing at his own 46-yard line with 10:24 and counting left in the half. A left foot sends Perkinson back. Now he comes up to catch it, and a fair catch at the 47-yard line. So good defense by the Cardinals.
And good defense yields good field position
for the Cardinal offense.
10-16 left. Cardinals will have it. They see Perkinson with the fair catch. 47-yard line. Well, Rufus, this will be our last game wearing pink, at least for a purpose, during Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
But it's been a great opportunity to do just that. Through our broadcast, bring awareness to the Lawndale Hawthorne community and our other viewers about this disease and this illness, and hopefully it's inspired some to be supporters and those who are fighting to keep the good fight going.
B.J. Perkinson gets the wide receiver screen. And yeah, that's breast cancer has touched pretty much everybody in some way or form or another. So a good 7-yard gain for Perkinson. And Chris Murray is 4 out of 5. Has connected on his last 4. Second and 3. Murray over the middle, and it's caught. And a first down catch for Nate Brown. Down to about the 39 in El Segundo territory.
Last time we called Nate's name in the pass pattern, he wasn't looking for it. This time, I'm sure that he had gotten the earful, and boy, he was right on top of that play. So good play by Nate Brown to pick up the first down for the Lawndale Cardinals.
So 1st and 10 from the 38, we'll call it. Murray again. And the ball is dropped on the far sideline.
That was Emmanuel Ayo, looks like, if I'm right. We'll see again on the replay here. Actually, it was it was number 8, Amaro Bellew.
So it'll be 2nd and 10.
And again, that's another drop, goes as an incompletion against Chris Murray's stats.
That's right. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 split, 2 split to the other side. Murray. Eagles get in and land on Murray.
Well, the pocket collapsed around him, and then when he decided to run, he ran right into the teeth of the defensive line. And, of course, that stopped him at the line of scrimmage for virtually no gain. 3rd and very long for the Cardinals again. Of course, we've seen him in this situation before. The last time we saw him in this situation, Chris Murray ran for 12 yards and the first down, which ultimately led to the score.
3rd and 12. Duncan Papali with the sack there, the tackle. 8:20 left in the half. Murray back to pass, has all day. Oh, look out, here come the white jerseys. Murray looking for somewhere to go, goes up the middle, but a nice flying tackle by Gabriel Fernan.
And that's good defense by El Segundo to keep the dual threat contained and to bring up a 4th and 10, and one of those situations where if you're Lawndale, and you look at your field position, you don't even think about it. They drop back into punt formation.
Look at that pursuit by Big Gabriel. Gabriel is 6'2", 220 on Chris Murray. 6'4", 195. Murray gonna go for it on 4th down. They've got it as the pass went to the near side, Rufus, and I believe that was DeJuan Ballard.
Well, they not only fooled El Segundo, they fooled me, and that's even worse. Okay, boy, they fake the punt and throw out of the punt formation, pick up the first down, keep the drive alive. Coach Clark, you're right. He's brought a new culture and a new way of doing things here to this Lawndale football program.
So a 6-yard gain, Rufus. Actually, no, that was longer than that.
Right, because it was 3rd and 12.
Where is it? The 21? Okay, the 21. Pardon me. 16 yards on the game. pass again and dropped by Perkinson.
So that's what, 3 drops on the night for the Lawndale receiving crew. Perkinson, of course, a sure-handed receiver. He's the leading receiver on this team, as we mentioned, nearly 600 yards coming into tonight's contest. And that one was one of those things that happens at every level, man. He had notions of running before he caught the ball.
Out of the shotgun, looks like they're going to blitz. It's picked up. Perkinson gets the wide receiver screen, trying to get out of a tackle. Does. Gets inside the 10, inside the end zone. Is it a touchdown? Yes!
Okay.
B.J. Perkinson makes amends for the drop, Rufus, and
Certainly
rumbles
does.
in 21 yards.
So what a big play for Perkinson, as we mentioned. Boy, the defender trying to grab him there. Great camera work as you see him heading up the sideline. It's there. They give a look. Official right on top of it.
Yeah. Griffin Martez had the best shot at him, number 27, but now we have a whistle. Offside on El Segundo. So 7:25, the time of the touchdown.
And they'll assess that penalty in all likelihood on the kickoff.
And now we have another penalty. DeJuan Ballard is the holder for the Cardinals.
Kicking team.
All right, so there's the even upper.
It sure is. Now that'll pose an interesting question whether or not, which I don't know the answer, I'm just curious as to whether or not that invalidates the original penalty that was against El Segundo, which would have been assessed on the kickoff. We'll have to wait and see. Normally they kick off from the 40, so we'll see where it's placed. Snap was high.
A nice grab by Ballard.
And just like that, Lawndale now up 14-0.
Had a short field, Rufus, 53 yards, 7 plays. That took just under 3 minutes, 2 minutes and 50 seconds, we'll call it. Capped off by Chris Murray's wide receiver pass to B.J. Perkinson, who had dropped the ball in the play before.
So Perkinson one for 2 on that drive, but the one was a 21-yard touchdown.
So saw basketball coach Chris Brownlee here tonight, and at least one of his assistants. And some good news to report from the Brownlee household. Ed is doing just fine, thank you.
That's great to hear.
Pooch kick. El Segundo picks it up, but just going laterally, as making a nice tackle is Elijah Long. After the return by Danny McEntee. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles as they fake the reverse at the 25-yard line. Nice tackle there by Long, and he hung on. That's
right.
important here now. We get a lot of guys that just do the hit and don't do the finish.
Absolutely.
.720 left to go in the first half, Rufus. Palmer back to pass off his back foot, and it's grabbed by Taz Tawasi.
Tawasi, of course, they're all everything guy. 1,100 yards rushing, number 1 in the Ocean League, 19 touchdowns on the season. But again, a lot of that was with Jason Kale as his quarterback. That was the battery combination, if you will, to use a baseball term. But he's having to make the adjustment and work with Palmer now.
-1 on the play, Rufus. So the Cardinal defense holding up is now Palmer from under center, getting chased out of the pocket, throws it on the run, and no, it's an incomplete pass, but boy, Palmer got wiped out, and maybe one of the guys on the sideline did too.
Right.
With heavy pursuit on the play was Emmanuel Io. Boy, he was Io and Palmer on that one.
All the way, and judicious restraint by the referee Skinner in not throwing the flag for what could have been considered by some a hit out of bounds.
Well, he got popped by Jalen Walker. Michael Gonzalez split closest to us. Draw play and no play.
Well, the ball's loose, and Lawndale says they have it. The officials agree with them.
So second fumble lost by the Eagles with 5:25 left to go.
And we'll want to see who, if we can, who recovered that.
Number 42, that was Brandon Toure. And as usual, our City TV camera guys are right on it. 4 Star Awards in Tom Strickfadden's pocket. The whistle on the play. Coming out of the ball game is Hamid Brooks. Hamid or Hamid. Coming in is McKentry. Chris Murray. There you see the senior quarterback. We'll see him on the hardwood come next month. Ball is handed off to Cooper. Cooper going wide around the side. Gets rid of one tackler, but can't get rid of an Eagle talon there. As the opposite number 3, Brandon Craig.
Now you got a flag. You got a couple of flags coming in over on the far side.
Probably going to have a personal foul.
Don't know whether that's frustration by El Segundo or a little bit of trash talking by Lawndale. Referee's indication will tell us which one.
Now Coach Shevlin is over there trying to direct traffic. But all that running by Zach, and it's at least a no gain.
And now we'll wait for Jason Skinner to
dead ball, personal foul on the offense. 15 yards penalty, second down.
All right. So we've got the referee mic'd. I'm glad we were told that.
Yep. Here we see on the replay, we'll see if we see where the personal foul occurs. We'll see him pop to the outside. Coming back to live action in just a moment, okay?
Okay, I guess we didn't get to see that. So back to pass is Murray. Shower, shave, coffee, donut, finally gets flushed out of the pocket, and he's going to tuck it in. And still coming down the sideline, runs out of bounds. It's going to be another loss on the play, and we've got another flag on the sideline.
Okay, so
Travis Clark is getting into somebody's head.
And play getting just a little bit chippy on the sides, and let's see. This is another one. Now, this could be a personal foul going the other way against El Segundo. If it does, it'll create an automatic first down situation, I would think, for Lawndale.
Dead ball, personal foul on the offense.
Wow.
Okay, well, that's definitely not what you want to see.
It's 30 yards in 2 plays. So it had to have happened right in front of us.
Of course, our view is blocked by about 40 players and coaches and other people that are there on the sideline. We're looking at the replay here. We've got the opportunity to see it all the way through, and we'll see if we have a chance to see exactly what happened.
So it's 1st and 40. And another flag, couple of flags thrown in, Rufus.
Wow. So the ball right now is spotted at the 43. And boy, it needs to get down to about the 13.
Foul, face mask, on the defense. 15-yard penalty.
So it's the big one, 15 yards come back. So it'll be spotted at the 32.
Spotted at the 32, and it's still 3rd down, though. It remains 3rd down, and now it's a 3rd and 15.
18, we'll call it, 3rd and 18.
Okay.
It's definitely longer than 15. So Murray out of the shotgun, back to pass, looks down the middle. Now he's got to look out. We have a sack on the play by Brandon Craig, but also a flag on the play.
The flag will probably be holding against the offensive line. There's only so long that you can hold those guys out. I'm thinking that if you're Coach Shavlin, you're probably going to decline this because, as you say, it's a 3rd and about 18, and go ahead and make them punt the ball.
Illegal hands in the face, on the defense.
Well,
Okay, 3rd down.
Wow.
usually it's a holding in that area.
Well, especially when that much time is taken on the possession, but instead it's against El Segundo, and boy, now it's going to make it a very manageable.
Back to the line of scrimmage, the original line of scrimmage. It's
Right.
third and 10.
And this started out as what, a 3rd and 30 or something like that?
A 3rd and 40 actually, but because you had two 15-yard penalties plus the 10 yards they had to get. At least by my old math standards. Whoa! There goes a bad snap. Murray
Now, if they make something out
throws
of this,
it out of bounds.
that could, well.
B.J. Perkinson was in the zip code.
Okay. That was good to see. I mean, Murray kind of rushed that through. I think maybe panicked just a bit because it looked like, I mean, even though he was under pursuit, that they had a chance to make it. Now it's a 4th down play, and my guess is that they're going to go for it here. Remember, if you can, that this whole possession started on a fake punt on 4th down. And now Coach is going to use his 3rd and final timeout here in the first half with 4:40 left.
Now it was actually a fumble recovery by El Segundo. The fumble was lost and recovered. The fake punt was on the touchdown drive.
Okay.
That was a 4th and 4th and long. It was a 4th and 10, and they got a 16-yard pass play out of it.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, this set of downs, and you get a set of 4 downs to start with. This has been one of the wackiest set of downs I've ever seen. I don't know if I've ever seen a team go from 3rd and 40 to 3rd and 10 without all on penalties.
That's right. 4 15-yard penalties in a row.
Exactly. So clearly they're going.
B.J. Perkinson split wide to the near side. Murray looks over there and throws across the middle, and it's picked off. Picked off by Hamid Brooks. And Brooks gets the first turnover for El Segundo. Second turnover, first interception of the night. And I don't think the clock ran, Rufus.
I was thinking the exact same thing. In fact, I know it didn't run because when I looked at it, it was 4:40. And with all the action in that play, still ends up being 4:40. So that's something, I don't know if the officials are alert to it, but certainly will need to be corrected.
So intercepted.
Okay, so we got a clock issue. Well, I guess it'll start on the snap. Let's see.
Palmer. Now maybe the clock isn't working. There's a penalty flag as the Cardinal defense got its feathers ruffled and really went after Palmer, as it was at the 10-yard line. Let's see where the ball is marked now. At the 5, but we'll wait and see what the penalty is. It's against El Segundo because Skinner was looking over at Coach Porter, or excuse me, Coach Clark. There I go again.
That's okay. I was bit 2 weeks ago when Lusinger was playing the Torrance Totters, and for the life of me, I couldn't stop saying South.
Boy,
South.
And
South.
I know you got a bag full of mail on that one.
Right.
Holding on the offense. That penalty's declined.
That's probably so Lawndale gets the down against El Segundo and actually would be in the same spot, half the distance to the goal or even a little less, because you're inside the 5-yard line.
Yep. So it's a second down and a little more than 15. They put 16 up on the board.
So they'll call it the 4-yard line then. Palmer back to pass. Left-hander heaves it downfield, has a man open, but finally the free safety gets in there and they're going to call a, oh man, that looked like a good play to me.
Wow.
Intended receiver on the play was Taj Balogun.
Wow. And the official
Taj 6'4", 160.
on the call is Greg Lawson. And let's see what the call is. Well, because it.
Pass interference on the defense.
Wow.
15-yard penalty.
Love to see that one again.
Wow. And that bails out El Segundo, that's for sure. Well, we see the ball in the air.
He didn't even touch him. Didn't even touch him. Their hands might have touched. Landon Sharp splits out to the near side. Full backfield for Palmer. Has a couple of bookend eagles with 4:14 left to go according to the clock. Down the middle again, and that was tipped and could have been picked off.
And what that incompletion does is stops the clock because Lawndale is out of timeouts. Remember, they've used all 3 of theirs already. We still got 4 minutes left, but let's go down to Egidio.
Thank you, guys. Well, despite being down 14-0, the Eagles were pretty high up in morale. I was over there on the sideline just minutes ago, especially following that big interception by El Segundo. Everybody was still cheering. Everybody was in happy moods. Quickly, also an injury up there in number 34, Angelo Pacheco. He took a big hit earlier in the first quarter. I went and talked to the trainer. He was okay. They said they just took him off for precautious reasons. He seemed okay. They did all the concussion tests. They're gonna wait though to see after the second quarter's over, after halftime, if he's okay, if he's gonna return here tonight. But he seemed okay. He had his helmet off. He was walking around the sidelines joking. He seemed to be okay, which is great news for now. I'll update you if I hear anything else. Lou, Rufus, back to you.
Well, thank you very much. And the incomplete pass. So 4:06, there you see the replay, and that was intended for Griffin Martez. The play before that, the intended receiver was C.J. Shevlin. So it's 3rd down and 10. And an opportunity for Lawndale if they hold him here, but down the middle, and it's almost picked off.
Makes it a 4th and 10 though, and out of that whole sequence of downs, only 38 seconds elapsed on the clock, so Lawndale's going to get the football with plenty of time to operate. They don't have to go into the hurry-up offense because they'll have the remainder of 4 minutes and 2 seconds after they gain possession.
Coming off a little gimpy for the Eagles is Taz Tawazi, favoring his right leg. Palmer with a nice kick. Perkinson coming up, gets it at the 45-yard line, spins out of a tackle.
Wow.
Perkinson has a blocker in front of him. Jalen Walker, and down inside the 30-yard line, stops the clock at 3:50 left in the half. Boy, he is deceptively fast with those long strides, Rufus.
Big return by Perkinson.
So they call it at the 25. 30 yards on the return. With 3:50 left in the second. From the, was that the, well, that's the 20-yard line. Pardon me. Is that right, the 20-yard line?
Yep, it certainly is.
Okay, so 35 yards on the return. And that's got to be too much time.
Okay, and the Cardinals have had a couple of those penalties tonight, and those are unforced errors, if you will. I mean, that just simply should not happen.
So out of the eye, and Zach Cooper gets back the 5 yards and a little bit more. So it'll be second down and a long 9. Down to the 19. So 6 for Zach. A host of Eagles bringing him down. 3:20 and counting left to go in the second quarter. Under center is Murray. Hands the ball off again to Cooper. Cooper is wrangled in by Duncan Papali and also Griffin Martez. Gets down to the 15, so a gain of 4.
You got to get just inside the 10-yard line to pick up the first down. Obviously, they're thinking end zone, but yes, you need to. This is 2 downs to pick up the first.
Wide receiver screen. The ball is caught, and inside the 10-yard line goes Destin Hall. Down to the 9.
And that'll stop the clock momentarily while they set the football, and it'll be first and goal.
So it's first and goal now. It's a nice play by Gabriel Fernan to knock Chris Murray on his wallet. 2:20 left to go in the first quarter. Plenty of time. Ball is handed off to the halfback, Aaron Kiefer. And he gets down to the 6. So 3 yards.
Look again on that. Actually, Zach Cooper.
That's Zach Cooper, pardon me. Sorry, Lisa Cooper, Zach's mom. 2 wide receivers to the right of Murray. Gives it to Cooper again, following Kiefer into the end zone. Touchdown, Cardinals.
With 1:37 left in the first half.
So Zach Cooper on senior night scoring a touchdown. Following his big blocker, his best friend, Aaron Kiefer, into the end zone. When you got a fullback like that, Rufus, a 5'11", 200-pounder, which translates into a human fire plug. And this one may have been blocked, but that clanks off of the upright. The crooked upright. You know, if that upright was straightened out, it would have been good. So he's kind of leaning to the left.
It certainly
or
is.
To the right.
The leaning upright of
Look at
Lawndale.
that. The leaning tower of Lawndale. See, just that little bit, he would have been. It would have been good. All right. So 137 left in the half. PAT was no good. So 20-0 in favor of Lawndale on the 6-yard run by Zach Cooper. Rosenios teeing the ball up.
And if you're El Segundo, what you want to do on this kickoff is make sure that you execute and without turnovers. Do not give this ball back to Lawndale with a minute and a half left here in the first half.
So the big 35-yard run back on the punt by B.J. Perkinson set that up. There's the reverse, goes to Taz Tawazi. And just a little bit of razzle-dazzle makes the Cardinals yawn as they have it 1st and 10 from about the 31.
And here's why that didn't work, Lou. It didn't work because they showed it the last time that they were receiving a kickoff. Obviously, that made Lawndale aware of the possibility. Now, Taz Tawazi, their best guy in terms of running. And they're trying to get the ball in his hands as much as possible. No surprise there. That's what you do. You put the ball in the hands of your best athlete, but nothing doing on that one as Lawndale was more than ready for the play.
Tackle was made by Amaro Bellew. With 1:32 left to go in the half. Trips to the left of left-hander Jake Palmer. Fakes the handoff to Taz, and good defensive play by B.J. Perkinson to knock the ball away from the Eagle receiver.
And for a second there, I thought B.J. had a bead on that play. It certainly looked like he did. I mean, he eyed it all the way. Certainly made the great defensive breakup. And, boy, that one was pretty close to being a pick six.
Travis Clark talking to B.J. with 1:28 left to go. Travis, the infectious coach, grew up in Santa Monica, played at Santa Monica, coached at Santa Monica.
And beat Santa Monica.
That's right. Full circle. Palmer hit as he's thrown and almost picked off. And there you see Travis jump up and down as B.J. Perkinson almost had himself an interception.
And I thought possibly defensive interference as well. You'll see the contact come where we don't see it here because we see the ball in the air. We'll see if we see the contact on the tail end. There's the contact. You don't get as good a view of it. Were they both going for the ball? Well, except he's behind the receiver. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And the contact is on the receiver that's in front of him toward the ball. Official right on top of the play. Didn't call it.
And that one was almost picked off again, this time by DeJuan Ballard. And on the previous play, Emmanuel Ayo with heavy pressure on Palmer with 1:10 left to go. And it's 4th and 10 in the first half.
And that drive started with 1:37 on the clock. They only burnt 27 seconds, and they're giving Lawndale the ball back. I mean, poor clock management that time, if you ask me, by El Segundo. I know they were trying to make something happen, but boy, there's no way that I would have given Lawndale the ball back in the first half.
Well, in the Eagles' defense or defense, you're giving the ball you're giving the keys to the Eagles' truck to Jake Palmer, who's never played quarterback, but is their best athlete to play quarterback. So says Coach Steve Shevlin.
Well,
so
I think you run the clock out, though. I mean, you got 1:37. I understand, you know,
I know
it's
what
a
you're
choice
saying.
of two things.
I mean, obviously they were trying to get a score, and the only way they felt they could accomplish that was through the air. Except they threw 3 incompletions in 27 seconds, and in fact they put a second back on the clock for Lawndale, as if though Lawndale needs any more time.
That's right.
Now I think if you're Lawndale, you got to strike deep. I mean, you have no timeout, so I wouldn't run the ball.
Murray hands the ball off, gives it to Zach Cooper. Cooper coming up to about the 45-yard line, and the flag comes in, thrown by Jason Skinner. So the preliminary call is holding against the Cardinals. So really throwing a monkey wrench into play was the Eagles defense, and that was Gabriel Fernan.
Now, you know, we saw some speed merchants last week in terms of those losing your Olympian receivers. This is where I think, boy, if you've got some speed in your receiving core,
which they do,
somebody has to get behind the defenders to give Murray a chance to throw the ball. I think they're playing very conservative here, as opposed to trying to get another score. Granted, they're up 20-0.
And Fernan again doing a good job getting inside the line and getting an arm on B.J. Perkinson, and so now here comes Chris Murray, so it'll be second down and 15. Out of the eye. Hands the ball off to Perkinson. BJ gets out of one tackle. BJ getting past everybody. Oh, what a tackle
down
by Danny McKentry.
That's a lot of confidence in your running game when with the clock running down against you, and you've got perhaps an opportunity to score. You elect to run rather than now that will run the clock out.
That was BJ's first carry for 15 yards. So lots of offense being put up on the board by Lawndale. And maybe they just wanted to run the clock out too.
Well, they did. You know what? And you read my mind. You know, and that was an interesting dynamic that you saw there between two teams. One team that was willing to go down swinging, even though they're down 20-0, they got the ball, they were trying to score, they hand it back over. The other team that's winning decides to play it safe, take their winnings, and go in the locker room at halftime up 20-0 here on City TV Sports.
Yeah, Jason Kell coming out of the press box, wearing the sling over his number 12 jersey with the assistant coaches. So he's learning instead of standing on the sidelines. He's going to school here. So good on you for Jason Kell. So B.J. Perkinson knows that he was just one man away, Danny McKenty, from possibly breaking for a 55-yard touchdown run. So,
but if you're the Lawndale Cardinals, a big half for those guys as they lead 20-0 here. And again, so much at stake for both teams. But if you're Lawndale, boy, right now you're halfway home to a guaranteed share, minimally a guaranteed share of the Ocean League title, with an opportunity to play for the outright title next week.
That's right, and Travis Clark was telling us they want to play mistake-free football, but even with 3, 6, 7, 8 penalties, they still have a 20-point lead and pitching another shutout.
But we still got another half to go. And again, this El Segundo team is a quality football team. They're down some players, but they still got plenty of fight left in them. And if you're Lawndale, I wouldn't take it as a given just yet that this game's in the bag.
All right. Well, we'll have some unofficial numbers and the third quarter when we come back. And Chris Brownlee in the house. That's right. We'll be back with the second half of action. It's senior night here at the Nest.
At the Nest.
That's right. We'll be back right after this.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's one every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
Back here at the Nest with the Cardinals leading El Segundo 20-0, and let's go down to Egidio.
Thank you, guys. Here at the halftime huddle with Sebastian Spencer, I'm Miguel DeLiu, and a 20-0 lead, the Lawndale Cardinals over El Segundo, but not a comfortable lead, Sebastian. El Segundo, a team that can definitely come back.
Yeah, definitely. They're playing great defense right now, even with the injuries that they do have out there right now. And we talked about being senior night, 3 touchdowns from 3 different seniors so far.
Exactly. 3 different Cardinals have scored tonight here with a 20-0 lead over El Segundo. Who needs to step up to finish this game here for the Lawndale Cardinals?
Oh, I definitely think Chris Murray has to step up. He has played well, but a couple mistakes there. But Coach Clark is on the sideline very much encouraging him. Didn't even get mad at him after that interception that he threw. So he's in good hands.
And on the other side, the El Segundo Eagles, what do they need to do to climb back into this ball game?
I think El Segundo, they just need to keep playing the way that they're playing because they're not playing bad. And they're definitely not playing bad for missing a few guys, like you said.
A lot of injuries are hitting the El Segundo Eagles, which is not making this game, like the marquee predicted, the #1 team against the #1 team. But it's still a good one for Sebastian Spencer. I'm going to get to you, Lou. Rufus, back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much. And an update from North High School, where Lusinger's playing there. It's 14-6 early in the third quarter in favor of North. So the looks like the only touchdown for Lusinger was back in the second quarter, but the PAT was no good. Tariq Culpepper, 75-yard pass completion, and that's the only score for Lusinger.
Lusinger very explosive. Any opportunity on the Culver City Hawthorne score?
Well, that's what I'm trying to look for.
Because we're still
and Hawthorne
waiting for El Segundo to take the field, so we've
says in progress, so that means that they may not have anybody covering the game for our scorekeepers. So it's 0-0. So the game has started. It's in progress, but no reports.
And of course, right here at the Cardinals' nest, the Lawndale Cardinals. Boy, trying to break an 11-year jinx. And right now they're halfway home to doing that as they lead 20-0 in a game in which, quite frankly, Lou, this is one of those where the score, and you see Tawasi there, Taz Tawasi, who is the leading rusher.
Now, just watch him. His gait is not good. He is definitely trying to hide something.
You happy he got a gate? Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Right now, because if he ain't got no gate, it's like, show us the gate out of here.
That's right. Yeah, keep that back gate unlocked.
Right, because it's time to go home.
Because Tawasi really he's got 1 reception for -1 yard and doesn't have a carry on offense as far as running. As a matter of fact, Palmer's been their offense, albeit if you want to call it that. Palmer has 6 carries for -34 yards because the Cardinals have been pecking at Palmer all night in the backfield, and is 2 out of 6 for 9 yards.
And I think if you're Coach Shavlin, you obviously had some sense that Lawndale would be keying on Tawasi, which is why they've gone away from him in a manner in which they normally would be going to him if Palmer were under center at quarterback, Kale, excuse me, if Kale were the quarterback, because again, you'd have that dual threat between his running and Kale's passing that the defense is a little off balance.
That's right. And let's go over some of the Lawndale numbers. In rushing, Zach Cooper, 10 carries, 31 yards and a touchdown. Murray, 7 carries, 38 yards and a touchdown. And B.J. Perkinson had that 1 carry at the end of the half for 15 yards. In the passing department, Chris Murray, 8 out of 11 for 82 yards and a touchdown and an interception. B.J. Perkinson, the leading receiver, 3 receptions for 50 yards and a touchdown. And Des Hall, 2 receptions for 22 yards, 80 yards in penalties for the Cardinals in the first half.
And what were Murray's passing numbers again? I know you just gave it. I wasn't picked. 8 for 11.
8 out of 11.
And that's interesting because he had 3 drops.
Right.
Okay. And you take away the 3 drops. Essentially, he's 11 for 11 or 8 for 8, whichever way you want to look at it. I prefer to look at it as 11 for 11. Of course, officially, it's 8 out of 11. But there wasn't much he could do other than put the ball in their hand from hand to hand on the 3 drops that'll go against his stats.
And to start the game off, Rufus, it looked like the Cardinals were a little tentative because, hey, after all, it is El Segundo. Well, there's a good snack right there. And El Segundo has always been a perennial power in the South Bay. And this year they're a little bit down, especially after the big team they had last year.
Well, they seem to recover from that, but the one thing you can't recover from are the injuries.
Right.
Okay. I mean, let's face it, they're 7-1 overall. I mean, they're no slouch team, no slouch program. They've beat a number of quality teams, but boy, as injuries started to catch up with them down the stretch, that's what's gotten them tonight more than anything else.
And there's Billy Brasher for the Eagles, and last time we had the Eagles on City TV, he was really brashing up the, I believe it was Hawthorne.
Yep.
So here comes Rosenios with the kick, and the third quarter is underway at the Cardinal nest. Short kick, and good coverage by the Cardinals as they wrap up Danny McKenty. So we'll call it 1st and 10. And that was Isaiah Webb with the tackle. So all 3 aspects of the Cardinals game is really shining tonight, Rufus, as I'm sure it has all season long with a 7-1 overall record.
Well, it certainly has, and of course, what a great opportunity for us to see them both tonight and to see them next week as well.
Taz Tawasi there with the carry, Rufus, and he is down on the ground and
Zach
getting
Cooper
up slowly.
had the ball and was going the other way, but the whistles blew the play dead. And I was thinking that game where we saw Brasher do his thing was actually early in the season over at Lusinger, where they defeated Lusinger 34-14.
Destin Hall with the tackle, but not after a 6-yard gain by Tawasi.
Because I'm sure Lawndale appreciates the clarification and pointing out the fact that Lawndale beat this team. Wow, there's Tawasi. That's what we talked about. They had him contained.
Well, this is his 2nd carry of the night, Rufus. Didn't carry the ball at all in the first half. So Steve Shevlin kept him in his back pocket, and boy, he's really shot out of a cannon tonight. That's a big first down for El Segundo in the first drive of the third quarter.
He takes it from the 34, that's 16, and another 6. That's a 22-yard gain, it would appear.
Call it 25 yards. And Palmer gets a bad snap, has to get out of it, and so far does, and gets by all the Cardinals and makes positive yardage out of that. So he's living right in the third quarter as Jalen Walker finally bumps him out of bounds.
And again, the Cardinals had several opportunities to bring him down. First of all, you see the bad snap. He recovers from that, pulls it down, And here's what you're not going to like to see if you're Lawndale. I mean, that's just missed tackle after missed tackle. Second and long, though.
As Brandon Toure, it's going to be second down and about 7. The ball is fumbled, finally corralled by Griffin Martez. As Coach Shevlin trying to find a combination of running back. Down inside the 40 to the 39, so a gain of 1 for Martez.
And again, it brings up the proverbial big third down play because it's a third down, and they're showing it as 5, third down and 5 for El Segundo. This is one of those you don't want to give it away to them on a cheap penalty, on a procedure penalty.
So Palmer keeps it and gets out of a shoestring tackle. Finally, Perkison gets him, but it's going to be short of the first down, about 2 yards short.
And I think if you're El Segundo, boy, this is a big decision for them. Granted, it's early in the second half, but this drive started out pretty decently. They're going to clock's running, and they're dropping back in punt formation.
And nobody back deep for the Cardinals. They're expecting a trick play maybe, because Palmer is the punter.
Does punt it away.
It's going to be downed inside the 5-yard line. So a terrific punt by Palmer, and coverage by the Eagles special teams. Is that going to be at the 1-yard line?
They're spotting it at the 1. So Lawndale's 99 yards away from pay dirt here on their first possession of the second half. 8:39 left here in the third quarter.
Isaiah Gray and Danny McKenty on the coverage of the punt. And there's Chris Murray getting ready with one of his big buddies, Steven Almada.
And right now you just want to get some breathing room if you're Lawndale, because, boy, you are on the 1-yard line. Let's see how they play this one.
Going to keep it on the ground. And that's Murray sticking on the ground. He was stuck in there by Binder and gets 4 yards on the play. So it'll be second down and a long 6.
But that was what they needed. I mean, they were right against their own goal line. Certainly not wanting to risk a safety or even worse, a potential defensive touchdown. So they get it out to just about the 5, where that gives them a little more room to work.
Murray again on the quarterback keeper, and he gets a first down and still on his feet, almost to the 35-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Cardinals as they move the sticks. Let's go down to Sebastian.
Quick injury report. Number 44 for the Lawndale Cardinals, Jesse Vieira, came off the field stumbling a little bit. Coach Travis Clark asked him, "Are you okay?" And he kept telling him, "It's my head, it's my head." Probably just got hit in the head a little bit, but I think he's getting evaluated right now by the trainers, and they said it's probable if he'll go back in. Back to you.
Thank you, Sebastian. B.J. Perkinson splits wide to the near side after the 28-yard gain by Chris Murray. 7:41, clock ticking in the third quarter. Wide receiver screen on the naked screen. Now he's got a blocker with him, and that's going to be at least a 9-yard gain.
And boy,
getting up off the bottom of the pile for the Eagles is Hamid Brooks.
And now, obviously, Lawndale's in excellent field position as they are out across the 40. And remember, we'll put a footnote in it that this drive started inside the 1-yard line, Lawndale's own 1-yard line.
Is that Jalen Stewart, number 5? Ball is handed off to Zach Cooper, who bursts through. Cooper still has a blocker with him and still on his feet. Finally, Brooks wrangles him down, but not before he gets close to the 25-yard line, and another Cardinal first down.
As you see the replay here, this possession started at the 43, and the key was, as you've noted a couple of times, Lou, was the blocking fullback that opened up the hole for Cooper to go through.
So call it a 34-yard gain. Cooper again gets pounded out of bounds inside the 20-yard line.
The officials hustle over to break it up. Nothing really going on, and that's the way they like it, and trying to make sure that nothing does go on. So a second down and short now for second down about 3.5, call it, for the Cardinals.
Ball is handed off again to Zach Cooper. Gets blasted as he gets across the line, but another good gain for Coop. And that looks like that's going to be another first down at around the 15-yard line. Or is that inside the 15?
That's going to be
like it's at the 14.
Right.
So Cooper really having the game of the season right now as Murray looks like he's going to run the ball. Waits trying to find a hole, but Binder gets on his back and rides him down. But it's inside the 10, and that's going to be marked at the 5-yard line. Actually inside the 5-yard. Oh, no, pardon me. Inside the 10-yard line. Tough to see from this vantage point, from this part right here. So 5 yards on the play. So down to the...
Well, if you look there, at about the 7-yard line is where they've got him set up at.
Ball is handed off to Perkinson. Perkinson trying to move the pile.
Not much doing that time for BJ.
Binder gets up off the bottom of the pile, along with Brandon Craig and Jackson Bassel. A timeout taken by the Eagles with 4:40 left to go in the third quarter, down 20-0.
And if you're Lawndale, you say, hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that, because it gives me an opportunity. What we saw from Coach Clark with no hesitation to use his timeouts when his team was in the red zone to make sure they capitalized on the opportunity. I thought maybe El Segundo had him a little bit off balance, but this timeout, let's see how this plays. It's third down and about, they're saying, well, the board shows 5, but it's obviously more than, I think 5, more like third down and about 6. They can pick up the first down without scoring a touchdown, but this would seem to me, Lou, to give Lawndale's offense an opportunity to regroup and come up with something really creative here to pick up either the first down or score a touchdown.
Right. So 4:40 left to go in the third quarter. Murray going to be under center. Has Kiefer at fullback, Perkinson at the halfback, and the throw is into the hands, in and out of the hands, into the hands of Eric Willis for a touchdown, Lawndale.
Wow, and Eric Willis, known more for his defense, as he came into tonight's contest with 7 sacks on the season, and instead, this time he's on the receiving end of a 7-yard touchdown pass from Chris Murray to Eric Willis.
Okay, so the extra point is good. So 27-0. Cardinals on senior night, and there's Reseños. And Anderson is a senior himself. So I know my eyes are a little ancient, but it looks like they put time back on the clock and not time off the clock.
Well,
it was right about the same time back in the second quarter when the clock went wacky.
Exactly. In fact, it
now,
was.
Is that 5:49? Or is that 5:44? That's 5:40 or 4:44.
That's 4:44.
See, I can't even read it when I'm looking right at it on the TV.
But you can read that part there, right? Lawndale, which is the home team, 27. The guests, they don't even give them the respect to put a 0 up on the board.
McGoo, you've done it again.
So could this be the night that the 11-year jinx gets broken?
99-yard drive, Rufus, in 9 plays. Took about 4 minutes.
And it definitely was, and that was what I said. Make a note of the fact that this drive started at the 1-yard line officially. And now El Segundo looking for anything from anybody as the ball comes out to near the 30-yard line where they'll go on offense.
Isaiah Gray with the return up to the 30-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles at that point. Second touchdown pass for Murray. First of the night for Eric Willis. 7 different receivers for Murray tonight.
And Murray's had a hand in 3 of the 4 scores that Lawndale has, 2 passes and 1 rushing touchdown on his own.
So another new running back, Cameron Hayforth, with his first carry, getting about 7 yards.
And here's what's key about that, not just that he's a new running back, but the fact that Taz Tawasi is not even on the field at all.
And Chris Murray getting worked on the sidelines. Hopefully that's just a cramp. Palmer back to pass. Palmer has a lot of time. Look out, here comes Eric Willis. Got blocked in the back. Palmer looking for the first down and then some and runs out of bounds at about the 45-yard line.
And you're right, you made the point earlier, Palmer, when asked why is he quarterbacking, and as you noted earlier, Coach Shevlin said he's simply the best athlete we've got, and that's all I can do is put my best player
available.
Right, my best athlete available under center.
Zach Cooper chased Palmer out of bounds with 3:53 left in the third quarter. Draw play right up the middle. Grinding out a few yards. And that was by Cameron Hayforth. Let's go down to Karen.
Lou, Rufus, I talked to Coach Shevlin at halftime, and he said that his team is pretty banged up. He said he's going to have to limit the play of Taz and Shaman Moore in this second half. He also said that his goal for his team right now is just to find a way to be able to slow down this Lawndale offense. Back to you.
All right, looks like the Cardinals are speeding them up the other way.
Well, I think his goal is he's going to have to change goals, and that's part of life. You got to change his goal and figure out a way to slow down this Cardinal defense.
There's too many Cardinals got up off the bottom of the pile.
Right.
They're all in there feasting. Welcome to the game, Mr. Hayforth. It's a 1-yard loss. Palmer back to pass. A lot of black jerseys around him and a nice pitch and catch. That's going to be good enough for a first down. The catch is made by C.J. Shevlin, his first catch of the night.
And Palmer gets up and watching him. He let's see. Okay, he's heading. Now he comes back. I thought maybe he was a little banged up on the play, but he's back in the huddle ready to play, and it's a 1st and 10 for El Segundo at the Lawndale 43-yard line.
So we're going to call that a 16-yard gain. And oh my goodness, what another terrific defensive play. And that was by an interior lineman, Terrell Williams, a 5'10 senior, 230-pounder.
And that's what you call shooting the gap, boy. And he came right through the gap.
He went even faster than Eric Chavez could run the camera.
But he's not faster than Eric Chavez running to a plate of food, though.
That's true. That American Pharaoh couldn't win that race. Palmer back to pass. Flushed out of the pocket and is hit again for a no gainer.
And that was number 9. That was Emmanuel Ayo, who, with the pursuit from behind, brought him down on the play to make it a 3rd and about 13.
With 1:20 left to go. Sorry, Rufus.
Yeah, no. There you see Ayo on the replay. Excellent pursuit from behind to drop him for the loss on the play.
Is that Brandon Toure, one of the linebackers? Timeout El Segundo. That's their second of the 3rd quarter. With 1:10 left to go.
And boy, interesting spot in the game to use that timeout, considering how precious they are when you only have 3 of them. 3rd quarter, you're down 27-0. It's 3rd and about 13. Understanding that they want to maximize this opportunity, but boy, now you're left with 1 for the rest of the way.
Of course, we love Eric Chavez. One of the best in the business.
Without a doubt.
Part of this 4-time Star Award-winning team led by Tom Strickfadden. There's the band. Now there are some gals that face painted cardinal beaks on there in red and with the gold beaks and look pretty cool down there. Palmer hands the ball off and spinning his way for some positive yardage is Hayforth.
They're still going to be considerably short on the play of the 1st down.
It's going to be about 4th and 6 as Hayforth gets 5 yards on the play. It's Palmer. Gets an eagle bounce inside the 10-yard line. And it's down by Isaiah Gray, so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Cardinals, and they'll have another long field.
As I say, it starts to do funny things, and boy, it started to take a Lawndale bounce as it was coming back in this direction toward the Lawndale offensive line, because you're right, it could have been, for a moment there, it looked like it was going to drop even deeper inside the 10, perhaps even inside the 5, but instead Lawndale at least gets to start with the benefit of 10 yards to their back. And this time, 90 yards of real estate in front of them.
So a 30-yard net punt for Palmer. And
that's key for the fullback with the carry.
8 yards.
You know, and again, you know, when you do the kind of dirty work that he does, you got to give him a reward every once in a while.
Oh yeah, he's been actually he's been a big part of Zach Cooper's night. And a timeout. Nope, that's just going to run the clock out. And switch sides and jog down the other side. A good 80 yards. And let's go down to Egidio with a score 27-0.
Well, exactly a year to this date, on October 30th last year, these two teams met. The results a little bit different, 34-24, the win for El Segundo last year. Different story and a different look on the 2015 matchup. One big thing is at quarterback. Last year, Lars Newbar was the star quarterback for the El Segundo Eagles. He's no longer at the school he graduated. He's now at USC playing baseball. Jason Cale, the guy that was supposed to be a quarterback for the Eagles this year, he is out for the year with torn ligaments in the shoulder. And then comes number 7, Jake Palmer, a guy that's never played quarterback at this level. talked to Coach Shevlin earlier. He said he played a little bit when he was a little kid at that level, but this, obviously, the speed of the game, way different, and what a great job this Lawndale defense is doing here tonight for Jake Palmer's debut at quarterback. Also talked to Coach Shevlin earlier and said, what do you like from Palmer? Because he's going to be your guy moving forward here the rest of the year. And he said, I like a few things. He's a good athlete. He can see things, but he needs to have the game slow down for him a lot. At this pace, at this level, the game is too fast, so you have to know how to react to that. And obviously, they're struggling a little bit here tonight, down 27-0. Still 1 quarter to go, and another game next year. Good news, though, 3 teams went to the playoffs from the Ocean League last year. So good news for El Segundo. Lou, Rufus, back to you.
All right, there's 1 minute left to go in the game. Aaron Kiefer with the carry gets a first down to the 20-yard line, I believe.
Oh. Hey.
Is that the 20-yard line? 20, 22? 21-yard line.
21, it's a first
So
down.
3-yard gain for Kiefer. And now you got Cooper.
Whoa.
Cooper breaking in, has one man to beat. That's Brooks, and he spins him out of bounds.
And that was
They
a
call him out of
touchdown
bounds.
saving tackle by
That's right.
Brooks.
Call him out of bounds at about the 45-yard line in El Segundo territory. So a 34-yard run by Zach Cooper, and let's watch him go. Brooks with those long arms finally corrals him. Cooper again runs into the line, and boy, he gets smacked down.
Wow, right at the line of scrimmage, virtually no gain on that play.
It's Duncan Papali with the tackle. Called his number quite a few times tonight.
Lawndale pitching a shutout here at home, and boy, they're driving again.
So the running game has been doing it for them. But they still have a dangerous passing attack as well.
Oh, a very dangerous passing attack led by Chris Murray along with Bryant Perkison.
Catch is made on the naked screen, the waggle, Jalen Stewart. But he is maybe a yard gain. But the opposite number 5, Taj Balogun, with the tackle.
So it's a third down and about 9 if you're a Lawndale Cardinal fan. Ball's at about the 44. I call it third down along 8.
Kiefer and Cooper in the backfield in the eye, and we've got an offside. So if they call it on the Eagles, it'll be 3rd and 4. And it is. First penalty of the half.
So
Third
that
down
makes it a
and
little
3.
more manageable. Again, what was a 3rd and 8 now becomes a 3rd and 3. That's the kind of help you don't want to give your opponent, especially when you're down 27-0.
So now Travis Clark calls timeout for the Cardinals with 9:40 left.
And this is one of those timeouts that Coach Clark called Lou Weir. He saw something in the lineup that clearly he didn't like. It wasn't the play that he had called or the formation that he had called. Guys are out of position. And again, he's teaching these guys how to execute, how to win. And boy, he's done a great job of it all season long. That's why they're 7-1 and a quarter away from going to 8-1 and being in first for guaranteed first place at least for another week in the Ocean League.
There you saw in the huddle there, number 73, Ramiro Cano, a senior, and Anderson Racinius also there, number 56, Deshaun Jones, a senior, 240 pounds. Some big kids up on the line for Lawndale. Big third down play with 9:40 left in the ball game. Zach Cooper trying to find a hole and does. Cooper is gone. Cooper's going to go into the end zone. Touchdown.
Zach Cooper with the 39-yard touchdown run.
That's right. So a 90-yard drive. And Zach Cooper did most of the damage there, being congratulated by DeJuan Ballard. And there he gets through the hole. Beautiful hole opened by the left guard and tackle. And Lisa Cooper's baby boy, Zach, outrunning Brooks, who can't catch him this time, and Danny McKenty. Snap back, ball down, kick is up and good by Anderson Rosinho with 9:32 left to go in the fourth quarter. It's 34-0 Lawndale.
And these Lawndale Cardinals and the guys who are seniors and those who've been a part of this program for 4 years, whether they played varsity or lower level. Of course, we know Chris Murray, one of those guys that was a 4-year varsity player, even though his first year, because he was underage, could not play, but he was still a part of the program. And what a luxury it is to have a guy who's led your team for the past 3 years as your starting quarterback.
Oh, absolutely. And then we're going to enjoy him on the hardwood come, was it December? So a 90-yard drive, Rufus. Six plays. And here come the Eagles, and a nice run back and across midfield. And that was Danny McKenty, who's been all over the place tonight for El Segundo, taking advantage of the injuries and getting on the field and really making the sophomore really taking advantage of this.
Yeah, well, that's what you got to do. Next man up, and when it's your opportunity, you've got a chance. You definitely want to take advantage of it, show the coach what you can do, because you're always playing for more PT, more playing time.
So inside of Cardinal territory at Lawndale's 46, Palmer. Screen pass, and it's dropped by Hayforth.
And if you're Lawndale right now with 9:22 left, you know, we talked about how your objectives change throughout the course of a game. You got to believe that one of the objectives now is that they would love nothing more than to pitch the shutout for the whole 4 quarters here. And they're still 9:22 away from it, from being able to do just that. But El Segundo is in scoring position.
And Lawndale still with a lot of energy on defense. Palmer back to pass, throws, and is caught and out of bounds. And the catch is made by Brandon Craig down to about the 37-yard line.
Looks like it's going to be just short of the first down.
So I'll call it a 9-yard gain. So it's a real short 1 yard. Somebody that we haven't called tonight, Alex Rios, and I remember calling his name quite a bit the last time we broadcast an Eagles game. Let's see if Palmer will do it himself.
Now what do we have? Looks like this may be a delay of game.
Dead ball, false start, offense.
Okay, false start, same difference. So that'll back them up 5 yards. So all of a sudden, what's a 3rd and less than 1 now becomes a 3rd and 5 plus.
Right.
And that changes the dynamic completely.
So big play for both squads. Palmer And over the head. Oh, this is intercepted, or was he down? But it's still an interception by Jalen Walker. And now we're going to get an unsportsmanlike. But Jalen Walker with the second interception of Jake Palmer tonight on a big third down play. So we'll see what's going on with the penalty, but with all the celebrating.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the receiving team. First down.
So let's watch Palmer go back. And the ball was intended for, I believe, Brooks, but it was overthrown. Actually, that was intended for Landon Sharp.
And of course, Palmer's frustration is the fact that you're automatically down. You know, he made the interception, but his momentum took him to his knee, and so he couldn't get back up and run because he knew he had 6 in front of him.
That's right. Also, Justin Wallace had nice pressure on Palmer.
And so Walker started the game with a fumble recovery in the first quarter, and now here in the fourth quarter, he has an INT.
So just trying to figure things out as the ball goes back to the 23-yard line, we'll call it. 9:11 left to go in the fourth quarter. And play is blown dead.
Okay, and this one probably will go
Dead ball.
against
Encroachment.
the
Defense.
defense.
How about that? So it'll go up to the 28-ish. So
And
it's 1st and 5.
And that's another penalty against El Segundo. And, of course, on that last, when they had the ball before the turnover and they had 3rd and less than 1, the penalty which made it a 3rd and 5 changed their dynamic in a way that caused them to throw that interception.
Zach Cooper trying to get around the corner, gets the first down and gets stopped there, but still the little water bug gets out of Jack Basil's clutches, but still gets up to the 45-yard line.
Where Cooper
17-yard gain, Rufus, sorry.
Just some big, no, I was just going to acknowledge that Cooper has had some huge runs tonight. And, of course, we know that he's already scored a couple of touchdowns.
He's had some long runs, so he's knocking on the door of 100 yards if he hasn't blown through the door.
Well, he's knocking on more doors than that.
And Cooper again. Big hole. He's going over that left side, Rufus. Going right over Keon Pinkston, a freshman. And another 7 yards on the play. Across onto the actually a 6-yard gain to the 49-yard line of the Eagles. Man in motion. Gives it to Kiefer. Kiefer just short of the 45-yard line. Call it the 46 of El Segundo.
Makes it a 3rd and less than 1.
So Kiefer is a Woody Hayes player. That's his 3rd run for 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
And you can expect that they'll keep it on the ground again on this play, given what the field position is at the 46-yard line. Need to get on the other side of 45 to keep it going.
Give it to Cooper. Cooper gets across the 40-yard line, 45-yard line, and is brought down hard there.
But again,
Adrian
Kiefer
Johnson.
opening the hole. I mean, that's what, when you see the replay, you're going to see Kiefer go through first like a fire truck, and that makes it real easy for Cooper to come right in behind him. Kiefer, I think, playing, there you see him.
All right, just blowing out Jackson Basil there.
Boy, what a great weapon to have as a part of your offense.
It's a luxury. Again, Kiefer leading the way, but the hole closes real quick. Again, Adrian Johnson among the tacklers for Cooper, but still a 2-yard gain.
And we talked about it earlier, that 3,000-yard backfield that Lawndale has in terms of Chris Murray passing for over 1,200 yards, running for over 1,000. Zach Cooper running for over 1,000 as well. And then you throw in Kiefer as a blocking back in addition to that, and you've just got so many weapons. And, of course, on the receiving side, Bryant Perkinson with over 600 yards receiving.
Zach Cooper sneaking through the hole.
Picks up another first down. They'll move the chains again. So Lawndale really tonight just completely dominating this injury-decimated El Segundo Eagle football team.
8 yards for Cooper. Down to the 33-yard line is Cano with the big block, opening things up. Under center, Murray. Getting the ball is Perkinson this time. Perkinson could be on his way and was shoved out of bounds.
And let's see where they spotted that he was shoved out. It looks like they're going to spot it inside the 10-yard line. Boy, real close to the 5 where it'll be first and goal. B.J. Perkinson on the run.
Now the left tackle over there, Rufus, is Steven Almada at 6'3", 270. He'll do some damage to some defenses. So the ball is at the 8-yard line. First and goal. So Perkinson with another big run.
Another score by Lawndale, and we'll be in a running clock situation. Cooper with the carry gets down just about to the 5-yard line.
Nice stop by Griffin Martez. So a 3-yard gain for Cooper. That's his 20th carry.
So you got a lot of options. Just think right
Actually,
here, right now, you got a bunch of options. You got Cooper as a carrier. You got Murray who can pass it, Murray who can run it, and you got Perkinson.
Gotta apologize as Mark Binder on that last tackle. Was that Kiefer on the last carry, or who was that?
Cooper.
Okay. So Cooper gets down to the 3-yard line.
Now, brother, he's closer than that.
To the 2?
He's at the 1. You look. Well, I'm looking here. Yeah, I call it the 2, 1. Put it like this. You can smell the goal from there. They give it to Cooper, and Cooper walks in from 2 yards out.
Touchdown Lawndale with 4:07 left to go in the fourth quarter on senior night. Zach Cooper going out in a blaze of glory at the nest. And good blocking by the wide receiver on that far sideline, and getting close to him was Cameron Hayforth, but not close enough.
And now Lawndale's 3 minutes, 40 seconds, clock running away from a guaranteed share
is good
of the 2015 Ocean League title. They'll be heading to Hawthorne next week to outright claim it, and Hawthorne, depending upon what happened tonight, will be there, of course, doing their best to claim, if not, depending on their results against El Segundo, Lou, if not an outright title themselves, certainly a share of it. So how beautiful is that to have Lawndale and Hawthorne playing for the Ocean League title?
That's right. That's something that we haven't seen ever. At least in my 10, 11 years doing these games.
No, well, most of those years we saw Hawthorne playing just to get one win.
Right.
And right now they're playing they have the opportunity to play for a title. Lawndale, of course, right now, I can assure you the one thing they're playing for with 2:25 clock running, because we're in a running clock situation. They've got a 35-point lead. They're playing for the shutout right now. That's what they want to add. So many years of frustration, 11 consecutive years. Many of those years they were close, but never close enough to get over the top tonight, October 30th, 2015.
That's no treat. That's no trick either.
That's right.
Isaiah Webb makes the tackle on McKenty, Rufus.
They are being treated, and as we wind down inside the last 2 minutes, that's what they're playing for. But hats off to the Lawndale Cardinals. But by the same token, you'd be remiss if you didn't acknowledge in the sport, in competition, boy, when you don't have all your weapons with you, and boy, when you don't have a star quarterback like Kaler, it really makes things difficult.
And your top running back in Taz Tawasi. But they still have all their heart, that's for sure. Handoff again to Hayforth, trying to get the first down. The Cardinals can't stop him. And getting up close to the 50-yard line is Cameron Hayforth. Finally, they're untangling. And getting up off the bottom, is that Nate Brown? Some terrific blocking. And Hayforth just isn't going to go down easy.
Clock continues to run. 45 seconds left here. Lawndale leading 41-0. Maybe one more snap for El Segundo before this one becomes official.
So we'll call it a yard gain for Hayforth. 30 seconds and counting left to go in this one. Palmer has Hayforth in the background, just hands it off to him. Oh, and the Cardinals are picking up where they left off, as that was Eric Willis making the final tackle of the ball game with 12 seconds left to go. And the Spirit squad cheering him on. Dancing off the field is Jalen Walker with two big defensive plays, a fumble recovery and an interception. And this ball game is in the books. Lawndale with another shutout, their fifth shutout in 6 games. 41-0. Very, very impressive. And there is a very proud and excited Travis Clark.
And we can officially declare them at this point champions of the Ocean League for 2015. And the question is, we have a week to go to know whether or not they'll be the outright champions of the Ocean League. But they up their record to 4-0, and the only team that's within striking distance of them was the Hawthorne Cougars, who were 3-0 tonight and playing at Culver City. We don't have a score on that one for you. If we do, we'll get it back for you. But the score that we do have is Lawndale 41, El Segundo nothing, as the Cardinals pitch a shutout against the Eagles and erase 11 years of frustration, of disappointment, and 11 years of defeats to this very talented football team.
Fourth quarter score from North Torrance. The Saxons losing your Olympians 28-14. And about a minute left to go in that game.
Wow, so that's going to be a tough one. We knew the North was tough. But let's go straight over to Egidio, who's with Coach Shevlin.
Coach, another tough loss for you here tonight. What did you see from your guys that you like moving forward here?
Well, you know, like we talked at halftime, I think it's really about game reps right now and getting the new kids, game speed reps so that they get better, and we just try to improve each week. I challenge kids at halftime, hey, if you get beat, you'll get better the next play, and they get better the next play after that and understand what they're doing. And I thought it was a better half. We did some things better, but, we got a long ways to go. We had a lot of injuries that we're dealing with, so, we'll just buckle up next week and get ready to go again.
Jake Palmer is going to be your guy moving forward here against Santa Monica next week. What do you guys have to do to adjust for him to have a little bit better game next week?
Yeah, I think we had to clean up our pass pro, and then we just got to slow the game down in his head. It's tough to mimic game speed in practice, and the kids need to do a better job of that, and we probably need to do a better job coaching that up. But it's just slowing it down for him so he understands and go back to our base offense that he knows.
Defense played well tonight. What do you guys have to do against the Vikings next week to leave victorious?
We'll look at it on film. They look pretty big and physical, so we'll see what they have, and then we just got to be able to see if we can get the injuries back on the field and play for us. Defense did a great job tonight. Lawndale is very, very solid, and give them a lot of credit, and we just got to move forward and see what we can do next week.
Coach, thank you for the time. Thank you. Rufus, back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Egidio and Coach Shevlin. Very classy in a loss. So in the 5 shutout games, Rufus, the Cardinals have scored 261 points in those 5 shutout games.
And as they say, that'll get it done.
That's right. That is for sure. And we'll add up some of these gaudy numbers for the Cardinals when we get a chance, but just outclassed the El Segundo Eagles, Rufus. We heard about it,
right,
and we didn't see it, but now we have witnessed it. And this team is just an unbelievable powerhouse now.
Oh, they absolutely are. They clearly, within the South Bay, are one of the best programs. They're multidimensional. They're excellent on both offense and defense. Man, I can't wait for the playoff run to begin because it's going to be very exciting to watch this team. And, boy, you got to be thinking, I know it's real early, but with the talent they've displayed, you got to be thinking championship or bust.
And losing her now, it appears that they're going to go down to their first defeat in league, or is it second defeat?
Second defeat for them, but they've still got a chance. They need 3 wins, and of course we know their contest next week. They play Centennial. I do know that they close out the season against a struggling Centennial team, so they have a chance to get that 3rd win that they need to at least be in playoff consideration.
So final score from North Torrance, the Saxons 28-14 over Lusinger. That's a final score.
And Lou's done a very good job of trying to get a score from the Culver City game, which we just have not been able to get. But if we are able to get it before this is over, we'll certainly let you know the outcome of the Hawthorne-Culver City game.
That's right. And it looks like the Chris Brownlee coming by doing a photo bomb in front of us or in back of us. And they're going to have a good team this year as well. We were talking to some of the coaches, and they got a couple of tricks up their sleeves coming down.
And I'll mention real quickly, I saw Coach Parker at a basketball tournament, Coach Johnny Parker at a basketball tournament a week or so ago, and he's working with Chemezi over at USC.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. That's good news. So getting ready to let's go over to Karen downfield.
All right, Chris, that was a great win tonight. I think that was the fewest amount of words I've ever heard in a post-game meeting from your coach. He was so happy. There were just no words to say. What did it feel like for you?
It was an amazing experience. Past couple of years, we weren't able to get over the hump, and with the great coaching staff and great work we put out throughout the summer and season, finally got over the hump.
Now we're going to have to bring some of your teammates in here. There were so many touchdowns tonight. How did you guys just keep going?
We just played hard and physical. Like, we wasn't going to give up. We got that pep talk at halftime, and we just kept pounding the ball.
What was the pep talk like?
He was just saying, like, don't give up. This is when they start coming back and leads, because, like, when they're down, normally they come back at halftime. But we just kept fighting hard and took it.
All right, and now beating El Segundo on your home field, that's a huge deal. What is that like for the team?
Well, it was our senior night, so our seniors, this is probably the last time we will ever play on this turf. Well, this field, our home field. So it felt great to get the win.
And it was the first time in 11 years. And just adding to the excitement of the night, how does it feel to beat El Segundo at home tonight?
All we did, we had to come out strong. We had a good week of practice, no mess ups, and we just came out and tried our hardest.
Congratulations, it was a great win. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Karen. And
all right, we went from Chris Murray to Eric Willis in a flash of an eye.
Zach Cooper as well, I think, got a cameo appearance in there as well. Who had 24 carries. Haven't had a chance to add up the yardage yet, but Chris Murray was 11 out of 14 for 90 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception.
All right.
And haven't had a chance to add up his rushing numbers either, as we have the Cardinal Band serenading us a few.
Well, it's a celebration.
It is.
I mean,
senior night.
It's senior night.
More than successful.
It's a share of league title night. They'll have to wait another week to be able to stake a claim to the outright title. But the Hawthorne Cougars are waiting over at Hawthorne, where we'll be there for senior night. Hey, we've been waiting for him. Let's go over to interview with Coach Clark. No,
we don't have Coach Clark yet. And we'll stay here. Boy, there's a beautiful shot of the moon rising. And how that happened, I don't know. But wait for the coach to get finished with another interview that we're hearing. But Zach Cooper having a game of his life with 24 carries, and I'm sure it's well over 100 yards. And he also had a hat trick of touchdowns, 3 touchdowns tonight.
He absolutely did. A big night for him. A big night for Murray. Murray scored 1 and had a hand in another 2.
So 3 touchdowns.
So 3 touchdowns
overall.
For Murray. As you say, 11 out of 14. And those 3 that he missed were all 3 drops. So he had a great night at quarterback as well. And then there were some other guys. And we may as well mention them, because we clearly won't be able to recognize all of them, at least from an award perspective. But Walker, who had an INT and a fumble recovery, had a big game. Brian Perkinson, another player who had a big game.
Both sides of the ball.
Both sides of the ball, and he scored a touchdown as well. So there were so many guys who shined tonight for the Lawndale Cardinals.
Now we can go down to Sebastian.
Coach Clark, you guys remain victorious tonight here, going 8-1. How does it feel to get this victory on senior night?
It feels great. I feel good for the seniors. They came out here. They've been fighting hard for 3 or 4 years, hoping that they could beat a team like El Segundo, who's coached very well. He's got some great athletes over there. I didn't know it was going to get that bad, but I'm really proud of my boys. I think they came out here tonight and did exactly what we wanted to do. They accomplished what we try to get accomplished this week.
Talk about how you felt about coming in, being able to coach players like Brian, Chris, a lot of seniors, Zach, I heard you telling a lot of people that you think he's the best running back in the league.
No question.
So how did it feel to come in and be able to coach these guys coming in that already had talent?
I feel blessed. I'm a coach, and I just want to get out, have an opportunity to do what I do. I'm passionate about this, and to be able to walk in here and meet those guys, and I've been here about 7.5 months, and we're like family at this point. Those kids have bought in. They believe me. They believe in me. I believe in them. I think that these kids, sky's the limit for a lot of them. You're going to see some of these kids play college football. I'm just really proud of that I'm giving these guys an opportunity, the best that I can do. And, all I ask the kids to do is to play hard, work hard, try to do what they're coached to do and limit their mistakes. And that's exactly what they did tonight, and I'm just really proud about that.
And what do you think has played a key in you guys having so much success this year?
Well, I think the kids are buying in. I think I really appreciate the kids are friends. It's important to have some type of unity and camaraderie, and I think that's what they have. They're all friends. They love each other. I think that's important to have a successful team. You guys all kind of got to be on the same page, and that's what's happened. These kids are on the same page. They're unselfish. You got guys like Chris Murray, who's a superstar, but he's willing to give the ball to Zach or BJ or whomever. If we're going to get the job done, he's just really excited for the guys. They're excited for each other. If you notice, when one guy scores, they're all running down there and meeting him in the end zone. So that's just fun to watch for me. It's just going by too fast. You said it's 8-1. I can't believe it's week 9. But I really had a great time this year, and I can't wait to continue this thing.
I know you talked about before the game, but how you said it already feels like home for you. So
it's just home. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be, and I'm really excited about being here.
Definitely. Well, Coach, congratulations on the win and good luck next week.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Okay.
Back to you
All right.
guys.
Thank you very much, Sebastian. And Travis Clark, always excited. He's the Energizer Bunny here in the Ocean League. And we're watching a Halloween jack-o'-lantern colored moon rise over the eastern part of the school there, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
That is.
And tell you what, we'll go over some stats right now. Is Zach Cooper on rushing, leading rusher, 24 carries, 159 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And Chris Murray had 10 carries for 73 yards and a touchdown. And in the passing department, 11 out of 14 for 90 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception, and had 7 different receivers that he completed passes to.
Wow. Just another day at the
Another
office.
day at the office.
Chris Murray.
All right, well, now it's really time for the hardest moment of the game. I mean, you got all the everybody just going at each other on the field, and now you and I got to go at it for the player of the game and, more importantly, the tip of the hat.
Well, I tell you what, why don't we take a break and come back and reveal those choices to an audience that's waiting with bated breath.
Hi, I'm Donnell Beverly from the University of Connecticut, home of the 2011 National Championship UConn Huskies basketball team, and you're losing your Olympians.
Beverly around the back, follow-away jumper, good, beautiful shot.
It wasn't too long ago that I was playing basketball right here.
I just want to thank him for having me here. I'm honored to play here.
And the Huskies are the top dog in 2011.
Winning the NCAA championship has always been a goal of mine, but so is getting a great education that will last me a lifetime. You can achieve your goals too. All you have to do is work hard and dream hard, and you can do anything you put your mind to.
Back at the Cardinal Nest on the campus of Lawndale High School, where Lawndale thoroughly dominates El Segundo's Eagles 41-0. And now it's time for our player of the game and the tip of the hat. And we'll start off with the player of the game. And Zach Cooper came in front of his mom and the rest of his family and just really made a path up and down the field here. And he is our player of the game with 159 yards and 3 touchdowns on senior night.
And maybe he'll throw a bone to Kiefer. Zach had a great game, but you're the one who pointed it
right.
out. And as we saw, Kiefer, the fullback, who led him through plenty of those holes. And as Coach said, it's about teamwork, but Zach then did his part of it. And, boy, he scored, 2-3 times tonight?
3 touchdowns, yeah.
3 touchdowns tonight and a big game on the ground. So very deserving, Zach Cooper.
And it's also a testament to the offensive line as well, Rufus, especially the 3 on the left side, the left tackle, guard, and center, because that's pretty much where they went, was over that side of the ball.
Yep. Well, then that brings us, of course, to the Tip of the Hat Award winner.
That's right.
And again, once again, not an easy selection. A number of guys on this senior laden squad that could have done it tonight, but the guy who's done it time and time again over the last 4 years, none other than the quarterback, Chris Murray. As you mentioned, 11 out of 14 passing. He scored the first touchdown, a 10-yard run on the ground, and had a hand at another 2 because he had 2 touchdown passes. And again, always that steady, even hand out there, never gets rattled. Picked up a couple of big first down and third down plays.
Right.
And we could just go through
And
a number
fourth
of
down.
things. Exactly.
Fourth down and long.
And so for that, Chris Murray, and our final recognition in terms of our awareness of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it is our pleasure and my pleasure to award you the Tip of the Hat Award for tonight's contest against El Segundo. Number 12, Chris Murray.
Congrats, Chris. That's for sure. He just keeps getting better and better with every game. And, boy, this team is, obviously hitting it on all 3 big cylinders, big diesel cylinders, if you will. If we're talking about bus motors, you got the offense, the defense, and special teams. Didn't see, besides the 80 yards and penalties in the first half, any mistakes that I could really. I mean, heck, 41-0. Not a whole lot of holes.
Not a whole lot of holes, and guess what though? How special it's going to be next week though, and we can let the fans know because it's already booked. Our reservations are made. We're heading there to Hawthorne Halcap Field next weekend to watch the Hawthorne Cougars try to play the role of spoiler and gain a share of this Ocean League title. And I think it's worth mentioning and making very clear that Lawndale tonight clinched at least a share of the Ocean League title, could win it outright next week. But, hey, for us and our fans, Hawthorne will also be playing next week for a share of that title. So that's going to make it a great, great ball game. And it'll be senior night at Hawthorne High. So we will have had all 3 senior nights this year.
That's a special way to end the year. That wrap up the last 3 games of the year, that's for sure. And you and I were talking about it. This is the first time that I can remember when 2 teams were in this position. This is since the league realignment.
Absolutely.
This is going to be the first time this has ever happened, and what a night it's going to be for the area, for City TV and these teams next week.
Absolutely, and it's also needs to be mentioned that Lusinger will have an outside chance at a playoff position. They've got some work to do. They'll have to go to Centennial next week and defeat a game but struggling Centennial team in order to get those 3 victories that are necessary to at least be considered for a wild card spot.
All right, and I might even clean the windows at Halcap Field's press box, too. Well, for Rufus Washington, Karen Brights, Egidio DeLeu, and Sebastian Spencer, cut! No. And from the Cardinals.
Reload DeLeu.
That's right. This is Lou Stowers, and can't forget about the 4-time Star Award-winning crew led by Tom Strickfadden at City TV. This is Lou Stowers telling you once again the final score from the Cardinal Nest, 41-0, Lawndale over El Segundo. Until next week, so long.